Hi everyone, Dr. Gibson here. I am going to make you a little short video that will serve as a tutorial for the basics that you worked on today. Okay, so I'm hoping that this video is going to give you a foundation in how to set up your R working environment and how to import data into R. Okay, so this is going to walk us step by step through what you did at the very beginning of the R activity that you were doing today. Okay, so let's first start. I'm going to open up a Data Nugget, and I'm just going to pretend that I'm doing what you did today. Okay, so here's my Data Nugget. Some of you will recognize it. It's about lizards. We're going to scroll down to the data. Here we have some data about body length of lizards, numbers of individuals captured in July, and then number of individuals captured in October later in that year. Okay. Now I've taken this data and I've entered it into Excel, just like you did. Okay. And I've calculated survival. Okay. So just notice one thing about what I did in Excel here was I used very simple names, okay? They're basically as simple as I could possibly have them be and have them still be descriptive. And that's because I don't want to be working with really complicated column names because I'm going to be typing things in R, okay? The more complicated the name, the more likely R won't be able to read it, right? So if there's some weird symbols, R can't read it. Or the more likely I'm going to make some typo and cause myself all sorts of stress. Okay, so we're just going to keep it simple. Okay, so that's my data. Now I'm going to save that data. I'm going to go to Save As. I have a PC, as you can see. The basic approach is the same between PC and Mac. There's just, the normal differences. Okay. So I'm going to go to a folder that I have on my desktop called RTutorial. I'm going to save this as a CSV, so a comma delimited file. R is very good at reading these. And I'm going to call it something very simple, okay? No long words, no weird dashes, no spaces. I'm going to call it lizard. Lizards. We're going to keep it simple. Okay, I'm going to hit save. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready to import this into R. So I'm going to open up R, and I'm going to go, there's a few different windows in R. This is RStudio, okay? So some of you are working with just the very basic interface of R, and we can talk, for those of you doing that, we can review how to approach this. But most of you are working in the RStudio interface, and so that's what I'm going to show you this tutorial in. Okay, so you have a few windows. Here's just kind of a multi-use cataloging window. I don't use this that often. Here we have the window where your plot is going to come up. Here you have the window where R is actually doing stuff. This is sort of like R's brain. And then here you have the script window. And I'm going to show you how to efficiently use this script window. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start entering information up here in the script window. So what I've done is I've put in a title for my script and the date. Okay, this is just note taking. Okay, so anytime I have a hashtag in front, that means that's a note, and R knows not to read that. Okay, so I'm just saying I'm going to make a note for myself. I'm going to type a hashtag and then put the title. And then I'm going to put a hashtag, then put the date. Okay, now I'm going to save this script. I'm going to save it in the same place as I saved my original data file, so the RTutorial folder. I'm going to call it lizard script. Okay, now next time I want to work with this script, I can just pull it up and all of my commands will be saved instead of having to re-enter them again. Okay, so now I'd like to go and import my data. To do that, I need to make sure that R is looking for the data in the right place. Okay. So I need to look into the working directory. Okay. So I apologize, you're going to hear my keys clicking really loudly, but here we go. So to R, WD stands for working directory. So I want to ask R, what working directory are you looking at right now? Where are you looking for files? So I type get WD in parentheses, and I'm going to hit run up here. Okay, and it tells me, Mandy, I'm looking for files in this folder. I am not, that doesn't work for me. So I'm not happy with where R is looking for files. I want it to look for files in that folder that I showed you where I saved my data. So I'm going to I'm going to change the working directory. And I do that by using the command set WD. I'm going to type double check the name of my folder. Okay. Now that's the folder I want R to look for data in. I'm going to hit run. Now I want to make sure R did what I told it to do. I'm just going to check the working directory that it's now using. Perfect. It's going where I want it to go. Okay, now it's time to import the data. That's my CSV file. So first I'm going to pick a name for the file. I gave it a pretty simple name first in Excel, so I'm just going to repeat that. I'm going to call my data lizards. Okay, so what I've just done here is I've said I'm going to import a data file. I'm going to assign it, that's what this arrow means, the name lizards. Okay, that's how R is going to recognize my data file. How do I actually import the data file? So I write read.csv. That's my function. Okay, it's a CSV file. So I'm telling R I want to read my CSV file. I'm going to type the name of the file in quotation marks in full. So it's entitled lizards.csv. Then I'm going to tell R that my data file has a header. Okay, what I mean by that is, let's go back to my Excel file. That means that I have column names. Okay, so the first row of my data file are the names of the columns. Okay, so R now says, okay, now I know that when I look at this data file, I know that the first row is not data, it's column names. Okay, so then I hit run, and that worked. So now let's see what we have. So I type out the name that I've given my data, that I've assigned my data file. I've imported it and assigned it to this name, lizards. I'm going to hit enter, and there we go. That's my data file. Now I want to look at my data file. So I can type summary of lizards, run. Now it gives me a summary of the data in each column. I can type head of lizards, and that shows me the first 6 columns of data. Okay, those commands are not terribly important when you have very small data sets like here, like this one, but typically when we're using R to look at really big data sets. So these summary commands can be really helpful. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Now what we do is I'm going to go ahead and save this script. I can do that through here. You can press the floppy disk here. And now we're done. Okay. I want to show you one quick thing, which is that I can close R. I can go back to my R tutorial file here. I can click on lizard script. It opens that up in R. And now I can run the same thing over again. So I can highlight all of this and hit run. And now I've called up my data file again. Okay. So this is a great way of working efficiently and remembering what you did instead of having to re-enter your data. Okay, that's it for now. I hope this was helpful.